All right, in three, in two, and in one. And welcome everybody to FrameCast number 72. This time today is exactly 8 years ago that a game released, I think. It kind of went into open beta, and I don't know what happened after, but it's been out for 8 years and it's been a great impact on our lives. Warframe turns 8 years old. Congratulations. How's it going, Drew?
Wait, hold on. If it's still in beta, how can it turn 8 years old?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I saw this tweet. I think it was by like the Game Awards that said like, "Oh yeah,
It was
congratulations,
released 8 years
Warframe
of
for like being
release.
released 8 years ago." So I just retweeted that saying like,
Yeah.
8 years ago a game went into open beta. We still don't know when it's releasing or something.
Yeah.
Did they ever?
Well,
Did they ever like officially say something or like hint at
no.
something like, or was it literally just let's just
They
stop
just
talking
don't.
about it and forget?
No,
Oh,
they just. But the thing is, like, they've never really spoken about it at all. Like, but is it really that big a deal if it's in open beta or released or anything like that? It's just like it's one of those superficial statuses. Like, it, typically, big name companies like EA and Activision, they'll use open beta to mean this is a shitty demo,
yeah.
So I just don't think DE have addressed it because they don't care to.
I felt that at the start, having this open beta title was something to do with like the consoles and being able to like release more updates and hotfixes to them. I don't know whether that was true, but I always thought that that was sort of the reason why they kept around with it, and it was also a great thing where people could say, "Oh, it's just the beta. It's not out yet. Don't worry about it." It's like, I mean, I feel the first 2-3 years they were really on like join the open beta today, Warframe open beta, and then slowly but surely they stopped saying it, and it was like on the website, and I think it's gone from the website now too. So I mean, hey, it's out, sort of. Who knows?
I,
It has
I
been
wonder
there.
if it's still on Steam.
Ooh, that is a curious one indeed. Um,
I would check, but I don't care enough.
yeah. I'm just gonna see. Here's the topic. Oh my god. I'm just going over the topics here, looking up, and there's like, is Warframe still in open beta? Warframe forums discussion. Welcome to the Warframe open beta on Steam. Oh my god, that is actually pretty cool. Um, view page. This was like 26th of March 2013 by Rebulest. Welcome to the Warframe Open Beta on Steam. Thank you for being part of our open beta and joining us on Steam. We're thrilled to be here. You'll see a lot of us devs around here, in game and on the Warframe forum. Some of you may know me as D Rebecca. Others I'm meeting for the first time. Here's some quick links to get you started. Our main support and our main website. See you all in game. That's where it began.
Indeed.
Indeed. So, I'm pressing the wrong button. Today I kind of wanted to like it dawned on me today with that tweet that all of a sudden it's 8 years of Warframe, because I kind of want to talk about that. They also released a new update, Railjack Retrofit, which has been
Mhm.
changing a lot of things around with the Railjack stuff, which we've played together. We've done an Arbiters about, so that's something that we can talk about indeed, and also just
Yep.
reminisce a little bit about what this game like. This game has had like a pretty big impact. I don't think a game has made more impact on me than Warframe in my life. And then there are two more
Apart
topics.
from Nier Automata.
Apart from Nier Automata, I mean, like Nier Automata is not really a game; it's more of an experience of life, and you gotta
Yep.
experience that.
You're not wrong.
So, apart from that, we have two more topics, which aren't small topics either. So we have, first off, we have Discord is exploring sell options for over $10 billion. And we have Sony is shutting down the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, and PlayStation Vita online stores. But let's see how we'll get to that, because first of all, either I'm going to ask you, what have you played this week, or are you dropping that bombshell now?
Okay, so no, I'll stick with the oh god, the what I've played, because
Oh.
the bombshells may end up turning into like mini topics and you could use those properly and all that. So anyway, right. So what I played this week, I played Doom Eternal on Nightmare for the YouTube Shorts crap that I'm doing.
Ooh.
And god, the game is so hard on Nightmare. It's just like, someone sneezes on you and then you're dead. And I'm like, Jesus freaking god. If you never ever run backwards, because the second you collide with a piece of terrain, like you're gonna die. You're dead. insta dead. What else is there? Then there's been playing a lot of Valheim. So been playing that with Nazareth, streaming on Fridays. So there's another one that's due tomorrow. And just having lots of shenanigans, lots of fun. It's crazy. I I spent like all of last week building this monolithic wall, and the only response I get from Loz is like, "Is that it?" I'm like, "Fuck you, Loz." Seriously. Like the amount of stone I mined and everything. Is that it? Anyway,
it's so wonderful whenever it's like in games, but also just in real life when you spend so much effort on something, you're just really proud of it and you want to show it off, and someone's like, "Oh, that's it.
Is that it?"
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Was that what you want?" And it's like, "Oh my god, you're trying so hard to like not show that you're just literally dying inside and like regretting those hours." You're just like, yeah, let's move on.
We also obviously we also played a bit of Warframe and Railjack and everything.
Whalejack.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's the shenanigans that I've been playing. What have you been playing?
I mean, like one thing which I just wanted to add on there is like when Laws commented about like your wall, it's like you could have at least it's functional on like your PC. Because I mean, I'm not seeing him build any walls soon,
No, to be fair,
unless it's back.
That is fair, but it happened after. So his machine died after he saw the wall.
Was that?
I think.
So was that a coincidence or was that a coincidence?
I think it was a coincidence.
I see. The plot thickens. First, I thought it was Lost just trying to get out being shot at their torpedo tube, but now I see there's more to it. No, like over the past 2 weeks, I've been playing a couple of games. First of all, like we've been playing a bunch of Subnautica, which there should be videos going live on YouTube soon. Like I'm really enjoying it playing on stream, but I just need to find the time to like shorten it down to like more watchable things. I think that will be fun, but time has been so fucking short. It's been so fucking. Go ahead.
Did you see like because I watched a good chunk of Subnautica, your first Subnautica like stream on YouTube. Did you see my my comment? The Freudian slip.
I had one when I saw a comment on that video. I was like, "Oh shit, this video is getting comments." Like actually, like I got a little micro orgasm.
So for everyone's context, Michelle's reading aloud this text and is talking about microorganisms, and he said microorgasm to begin with. It's just like, what the fuck? I was in the middle of my job. I was in the middle of work, and I heard this. So I'm like, sorry, that's now taking my attention. What?
Honestly, like this goes to prove two things. Number one, every single man or every single person you'll ever meet in real life, no, it doesn't matter how old they are, they're still going to be 9 years old inside. They'll still laugh at this shit. At the same time, number two, if you're going to try and like not have people make mistakes, they're going to make it. Because I remember very clearly when I was in biology in my high school, for one of the first years of my high school, we had biology in English, and the teacher was telling us, okay, today we're going to be talking about organisms. Now make sure you spell this properly, because if you don't say organism, but you say orgasm, it's going to mean something different. So don't make that mistake. And since then, I always link the two together, and I kind of mix them up sometimes. So don't mix those two up, or maybe do. You'll have a fun time. But yeah, so like I've been playing Subnautica. Apart from that, I started getting back into Apex Legends because Defton has been playing it a little bit. I know Mogama started making some videos about it. I'm still not the most entirely enticed by Battle Royales, but if I can play it with some friends, I've also played it with Ashishogi Tenno, and like it's fun to play together. I'm still a bigger fan of just like a team deathmatch Call of Duty style, kind of because like if I want to do PvP, that's more my style, where if I die, I can just respawn and not have to be like, oh my god, I gotta sit for loading screens again. But other than that, it is actually quite enjoyable. And what else? Yeah, Warframe, obviously. The Railjack retrofit. We played that together. We did some missions. Met Sullivan. That was a hell of a dude. And yeah, that's been it. Apart from that, just like really, really busy. There's a lot of stuff going on with university. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I got a brand new hard drive on my PC, and I've been moving stuff around, so all my assets and things are just gone now, and my like I don't know where they are, and my OBS is just like freaking out every single time because it can't find anything anymore. So yeah, a lot of things going on, but yeah, those are kind of the things I played.
Cool.
So yeah,
Are you ready for the bombshell?
yes, I am.
I think there's one, maybe two. So first off, the big thing that I'm pretty sure will make your head explode is Ghost of Sashima is... Wait, has that disappeared? Hold on. I swear, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is getting a movie. So
What?
this was announced within the last 30 minutes. Movie is in the works from Sony Pictures. The John Wick director, Chad, I don't know how, Stahelski?
Chad, Mega Chad.
Yeah, Chad, Mega Chad, is attached to helm, along with Sucker Punch's Peter Kang, serving as the executive producer. So yeah, I thought that would be a
Damn.
nifty little bombshell to drop on you. I
As
know you're quite into Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, I've played it. I've played it 2 times. Like it's a really, really good game. Spain has played it as well, and like as he says, like the game was already very much styled as a movie. It was like a really great cinematic game. Like I like the visuals in that game are so stunning. Like the cinematic mode that they have, is just fantastic. And like the thing which I always feel like I'm always a little bit reserved when it comes to video game movies because it's kind of like anime movies. It's one way or the other. It can be good, can be bad. That said, hearing that it comes from Sony Pictures, hearing that like the team is seems to be quite involved with this, I'm really curious. Like I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
I think it really depends because attaching someone related to John Wick, I think, goes a really, really long way. The first two John Wick films were amazing because they were on such a horse string budget. The third John Wick film is not the worst, but it does feel like it suffers from, SFX syndrome, and everything's like super high detailed special effects without actually without having any substance to the story. So I'm really hoping that the director for Ghost of Tsushima will take the original principle of John Wick, which is more practical effects that less special effects, to Ghost of Tsushima.
No, definitely. I mean, I've been a big fan of the John Wick franchise, and I definitely think that another thing that it kind of also suffers from is that like you have 2 movies and then you make a third, and a lot of the times like when you start adding in on sequels, it's really hard to like iterate on something new. Like iterate with something new because what is the thing that people really like to see? So you kind of want to like make something which is in the line of the old movie, but you kind of want to make something new, but you can't deviate too much. So the first one that was the first time I kind of had like, well, yeah, it's getting a little bit repetitive, but like still a very, very enjoyable movie. Definitely not something that like would bore me or anything. I really, really enjoyed it. And Keanu Reeves. I mean, maybe get Keanu Reeves for the Ghost of Tsushima movie.
I mean, who knows? I mean, it'll just be breathtaking. That
It
means
definitely
not
will be. Um,
So
as Pinar says, I think the story will not fit in a single movie unless they focus only on Jin and the uncle, or Yuna and the brother, but none of the other characters. I can see that. Like, this is one of the things which I'm really curious about, and like the way that they're gonna approach this. This is one thing when it comes to video game movies, especially like these open world style video game movies where you have a lot of depth into the characters. Ghost of Tsushima does a really good job in like deepening the characters. I think the story itself is quite interesting, though. The turn of events, like at the climax, is kind of like I wish there were more choices. There was more player agency in the way that your actions impacted the choice at the end, or not really the choice in the end, but the way that things turned out at the end. That said, what you find often in games is that like games provide you with like 50 to 100 or to even more hours of content that you can enjoy. And with that, you can explore the world and you can figure out like what people are, like who people are, and you can really like go on their own journey. But in a movie, it's like rather focused and you only have 2 hours to work with. So I'm really curious as to like how they're going to approach this. I do think it's a really good job that like, I mean, Ghost of Tsushima came kind of like out of like, it's a Sony PlayStation exclusive. So like Sony Pictures is working with it. Seems like it's keeping it close to the source. So I'm really curious. It might be like really, really good, but it will most likely leave a lot of things out.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people really have to respect the content sort of thing. Like the this narrative the part of the problem is I can't really talk about Ghost of Tsushima because I've not actually played it for myself. I wish it was on PC, so I've not experienced it in the vain hope that it will come to PC. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's anything like Sekiro or Nier Automata, the biggest problem with those sorts of video games is they are explicitly designed to be a video game and nothing else, right?
Mm-hmm.
The narrative is so heavily driven on you interacting with the world that when you're not interacting with the world, I'm pretty sure it's going to fall flat, right? So if anything, that is what is my biggest concern of something like
A movie
Ghost of
made
Tsushima.
based on Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, like
Yeah,
am I right in like saying that it's kind of like the game is very much focused on having the world sort of center around you, where if you decide to interact with a character, only then will their story progress. And because of that interaction which are going for, because of this like the choices you can make and the piece of dialogue that you bring forth, or like the choice of like things that like, because of that interaction which with you bring with the world, that isn't all that natural when it comes in the form of a movie where you're more a passive viewer and it comes down to a protagonist who makes choices for you and goes for the world based on like how they do it because that's the way they directed it.
I feel that like if you're highlighting the existential points of playing a video game, things like interacting with the game controller, like again, I'm going to go to Nier Automata on this. Being able to dodge, that the big thing is you having that control in your hands, experiencing the tactile sensation of when you are dodging, you see your character, you see 2B, 9S, or A2 dodge out of the way of an incoming attack, right? You
Mm-hmm.
get that input output response, right? But when you're in a movie, all you have is just output. The movie's just outputting everything to you. You're not engaging with it. I couldn't really envision an enjoyable Near Automata experience that does not have me interacting with the game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because like so much of it is the combat, so much of it is the music, the modding of the stuff, let alone the narrative, right?
Oh, that musical score, it's insane. Like one of the things which honestly staggers me to this day is it's like in the way that they build their music. Like all their music
Yeah.
tracks have like they have brilliant music tracks, and then they have it layered in the sense of you can have a very intense version of that track, or you can have like an 8-bit version of that track, or you can have like a media like a chill version of that track. So like as you move through the world, like you'll like the track will start and maybe battle will start and then like it swells on and then like the battle ends, it swells off, and then you get into like a hacking thing and like it kind of like it becomes like this 8-bit thing. It's like it's insane. But like I really get what you mean, and I also think that apart from just like the combat thing, like it's like that combat thing is kind of like the immersiveness of without saying too much, there is like a moment in Nier Automata which is really really impactful because you have controlled you control this character, and you control this character and control like the fact that you feel like how certain like a certain moment is really affecting like the movement speed and like the way that character like goes about really uh, really fucking makes the scene that comes as a cinematic really hit hard. Not just because of like the connection that you have with the character because you're watching it, but very much because you're controlling it. You're control like it feels like, and you've been building on, and you've been deciding to go certain places. It's really that connection that you have, which is really harder to do in a movie. And at the same time, I really feel that video games really rely on you to just walk up to a person and just, hey, what's going on, and let's continue on the quest, and then woke up to another person, hey, what's going, like, all the world for these characters is just on pause. Sometimes it kind of like moves on, and you'll see that in games that do it really well. Like, there are some games where if you meet a character another time, like, they're going to be somewhere else, or things have progressed, or you're going to have games where, you know, a beating heart of like void energy, which was super important, has always been out of the picture until we decided to like show up, and all of a sudden it's there and super relevant. I mean, that's also a way to do it, but like, it will never be in real time. They will never have like something which actively going on right now, because if there is a difference between you showing up to them like in 10 minutes time, or 5 minutes time, or 4.5 minutes time, people are gonna feel like they're time pressure to like go there, and it's not really gonna work in story games, especially if people all have their own different paces. However, if you convert that to a movie where basically like the whole world is to a standstill until like the main character interacts, it doesn't feel like a rich cinematic universe, especially when you're watching a movie, because like you will see that, hey, this doesn't make sense. This is not the way the world works. So there's always going to be that difference as well.
I agree with you. I also feel that there's different types of people like different things. Some people are able to just see movie and go brain off. Like one of my best friends, he actually enjoys the Star Wars, the sequel trilogy. He thinks that the second Star Wars movie is like a brilliant piece of work. And I'm just like, there's fucking gravity in space. How? Fucking how? Like, it makes no sense. To me, like, you know, but so there are plenty of people that just see bright flashing lights and will just take anything as amazing. But for me, like, I mean, one of the biggest games to movie franchises that's supposed to be happening is Metal Gear Solid. I cannot see how that movie could possibly ever work. You know,
Yeah.
there's the guy, he's crawling around on the floor, and now he stands up, knocks on a wall, and breaks a guy's neck. Like, ooh, riveting.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna put out 2 challenges to the world right now. If you can make this movie in a good way, I will go and watch it and say other people should probably watch it on this podcast here. I know that's a very high price, but okay, here's the challenge. Okay, Super Mario Bros. Melee.
Oh god.
Mario Kart. If you can make those 2 into Oscar nomination movies, I'll watch your movie. Prove your worth as a film director. If anyone can make that, you're gonna be the most brilliant creator of movies of all time. It's gonna be really hard, but go for it.
Did you ever watch the original Mario Brothers movie?
I have only seen clips of it from like YouTube videos of people. Like...
It's so bad. It's like it's so bad. Anyway, but should we move on to the next bombshell?
Let me actually jump very quickly on. Espino says, Ghost of Tsushima is so cinematically driven with a solid character development that I think it can adapt amazingly into a movie. Much more than Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil, or Monster Hunter. The cutscenes in Ghost of Tsushima were an absolute treat, and I've never skipped them since I was so immersed in them. It definitely has a cinematic element, so I'm really curious to see what it will do. And I think you have seen the Sonic movie, have you?
Yeah, I fucking love the Sonic movie. It's really good.
They're actually making a sequel, I think.
Yeah, they announced that.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's actually move on into the titular topic, because I think we should take a bit of our time with this. 8 years of Warframe. Do you still remember the first time you logged into this game?
No, I don't remember it in great detail, but I do remember playing as Loki in the Corpus tile set fighting the Grineer with the Burston, having grenades. There was no parkour. There was no abilities. Was there abilities? I don't think there was abilities. There was the weird, oh god, what was it? The voting system. So basically, instead of people clicking on a planet, the star chart wasn't there. All the players, there were 4 players, they were sat around the solar system, but there was no star chart. And you just had these cards that would appear, and like everyone would vote on which mission they wanted to do, right? So the team had formed up and you'd vote which mission you wanted to do. But there wasn't the modding system, there was a talent tree system, right? And if you've heard me whinge about anything in terms of gaming, I hate fucking talent trees, right? They're a waste of fucking space. They're a lazy game design decision, and they have been dated since the mid 2000s, right? No, late 2000s, right? For game developers to continue to use them, like I hate them in Borderlands, I hate them in Diablo 2, I hate them in World of Warcraft. I'm glad they got rid of them in World of Warcraft. I hate them in so many different games. It's just like, why would you put fucking it's just a lazy way of gating your progression. And so when I first played Warframe and I saw that it had talent trees, I instantly put it down. That was back in October 2012. And I didn't pick it up again until July 2013, when there was a lot more Warframes. There was a star chart. There was basic wall running. There were abilities, Warframe abilities. Grenades had gone. There was the mod system, and the game was like infinitesimally better than what it used to be.
Oh man, the memories. Yeah. I remember that Mark Von Bratton like very, very well. I joined it. I actually don't really remember exactly when I joined it. I do still remember that like Purgatory, Assassin's Creed, like intro tutorial bit where you're just in this white space, which like Assassin's Creed loved at the time because that was like futuristic, like having this mystical white thing where like things pop up like digital stuff, and you had like shadows of Grineer pop in, and like you had to shoot them and learn about abilities. I started playing with my cousin because like we were on the hunt for a good free-to-play game. And I had just come off, I think it was some sort of like free-to-play Tom Clancy game where you could just like play for like 2 hours, and it was like, now you gotta pay. And I was like, okay, fuck this. We'd played some Neverwinter, and we'd actually played that quite a bit until like we were at the world level cap, and then we're like, yeah, let's move on to something else. And then I think my cousin found Warframe. He said like, come on, let's go try this. And I remember so well, I played it on like my second laptop I have ever had, which is like not good. It had like I remember people sold like they sold it with me like we called like a graphics card, they called it a video card. So I was like, oh man, I can use that to watch videos on YouTube. And then like I was running it, and it was always like just a comic book. It was like lagging. Like that computer was really not good. Even though Warframe was super optimized for like low end gear PCs, it wasn't good for that. But like it had a certain like dark mystical vibe to it. It wasn't entirely the game where I was like immediately grabbed by like, oh my god, it's like AAA or like this is the thing which I want to go. But it did have, for like a free to play game, it had a certain quality and a certain like character to it where it was like, there may be more to this. And we kind of played it off and on, and then we kind of stopped playing, I think, around 2014 or something. And then back when Arcwing came around again, we started playing it again. And then I was just like, what is this? I remember very, very clearly. I was at my cousin's place, and we had he had a friend over, and we were playing Warframe again. And the friend was there, like, what kind of game is this? Like, dude, this is Warframe right here. And he's like, no way. No fucking way. He's like, yeah. Dude, but like the last time I played, it was like in the dark hole. It's like, no, we're flying in space right now. We're literally flying in space right now. And that was so cool. And like from that on, like that was really like for me, it was really a breaking into like the online gaming world. I did some online like tactical game sort of thing where you like conquer people's cities, but that was more like, oh, let's coordinate this attack via Skype and stuff, which dates me now very back already because Skype isn't the hip new thing anymore. But then like we got into Warframe, and we started up our clan. We started engaging with people on that were actually in chat. We started having like clan groups and talking about like getting logos. We had like I met someone like literally the day that we were deciding to like make a clan logo and put out a competition. I met someone in a Warframe lobby that I was talking to, and I was like, "Yeah, do you want to join our clan?" They were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this clan logo thing that we're like doing a competition for some platinum or something." He's like, "Oh, I'm actually a professional graphical designer." I was like, okay. He's like, oh yeah, and I'll do that work for free. So like we still have that logo that he made, and it's brilliant. It is fucking awesome. Um, and yeah, like from the one thing kind of led to the other, and I was very very loved this game very much. I engaged with it a lot. Started answering people's questions. And I was like, I'm answering so many questions. Like I was actually sitting in relays before they had this Guides to the Lotus program where you had people just like officially by Warframe endorsed sort of thing, like sitting in relays answering people's questions. I was doing that like for half a year earlier because I was like, oh, let me go and answer some people's questions that they might have. And then I decided to put them in videos. Then videos led to YouTube, and YouTube led to Twitch, and here we are.
Right now.
So,
Yep.
Yep.
So, like, I think one of the best things that we can really look back at with Warframe is the evolution of the game. Like the fact that it has grown so much over the years. I think it's really iconic, the fact that I got my Warframe merch,
Yeah.
freaking there you go. It's the fact that it used to be this corridor shooter and now it's evolved to having open plains environments, along with dynamically loading stuff, and now with Railjack where we're able to take our ships, get out of the ships, and go invade enemy ships and things. Like, I think the most exciting thing I am anticipating is the implementation of that for the Grineer spaceships, for the Grineer tile sets. I'd love to see this sort of thing done. Like the oh my god, could you just imagine Corpus, Jupiter Railjack? So you're actually doing Railjack in the gases of Jupiter, and you can go to one of those platforms and park and get off, and like, how cool would that be? Right? This is like the correct level of immersion. Is it perfect and flawless? Not on your life, right? But they are working on it, and they are fixing the faults of like, oh, but I've gone from one mission to another mission and it's broken. Like, yeah, but they'll fix that, right? The fact that you can go from one mission into a proper mission back onto your rail, like, it just feels so much better. The only problem now is your Lysets.
Yeah. What do you do with them kind of anymore at this point in time? They're kind of like there.
I kind of feel that the best thing to do with Lysets, and you have to make this like pretty solid seamless, is there should be like a compartment in the Railjack where it has maybe 1 or 4 bays where your Lyset is theoretically attached to the Railjack. Like it could be like stealthed on there sort of thing. And then when you go from Railjack, you go up to your Lyset and then you just sort of detach and then you're just on your Lyset. Yeah, then you sort of like leave the mission and then you can just do whatever you want. I think that is the best way, because the whole going from Lyset to Railjack feels really janky at the moment, and especially back.
Oh,
that feels really janky. So, but yeah.
So actually, like, let's dive a little bit deeper into like their latest update. Because they just released a Railjack retrofit where they kind of like went back to revise the Railjack update that wasn't the greatest launch a couple of years back, but they're fixing it up. And like this is their latest iteration. And I think that a couple of things which really stood out to me is that they have done away with a lot of the like thresholds for people to get into Railjack. So if you're not aware, Warframe is kind of like this 4-player co-op game where generally it was like in this procedurally generated like tile set. And then it moved on to open worlds, and now they introduce like space battles, which kind of like, I think it's very akin to something like Sea of Thieves, but then in space, but then different. So it's not entirely like Sea of Thieves, where you have like this entire like spatial rarity where you're like, oh man, like I'm gonna explore this space thing, and I'm gonna like do something on this island, do something there. But they're kind of going for that as well. Like you're just with 4 people on a ship, and you're gonna be battling. There's one person piloting a net of guns, and you can fly out, you can fly, you can find your own, you can go on to regular missions, and you can go and fix up the ship if things get busted. And there's a lot of things going on around there. It's very like unnatural to the game. It's like very new. But one of the things which I thought was one of the biggest problems when they released it is that it was super not finished and kind of very unstable. But also is that like it introduced an entirely new thing, and then added like an entirely new resource system around it. I'm actually quite curious as to like what you think about this, Drew. But the thing which I felt that was kind of holding me back from something like Railjack, but also with something like the Deimos update with the open world, is that it wasn't necessarily that there wasn't a lot of content there. It wasn't necessarily that it wasn't entirely finished. It was more that it just was starting entirely anew again. It was just like, oh yeah, if you want to explore this, you just gotta like start afresh again, and that kind of helped me back. And like I think I know why they did this, because like the idea is that Warframe, of course, like a lot of times when people really enjoy these kinds of games, because there's a lot of grind in this game, is like when they play this game, when they kind of grasp what's going on. Like when you start out, you have no idea what's going on, but the moment that you kind of like understand what's going on, but you don't have everything yet, that's when you're just at the peak, because like, oh, I can go and shoot for this Warframe, I can go and shoot for this mod, I can go and just shoot for this resource, and you're just going to be like on like hours and hours, and then playing that game to like try and get the thing which you really enjoy, and you get that, and you're going to be amazed. But at a certain point in time, you find that a lot of veterans will just have everything, and they'll just be sitting there like, what do I do now? What do I do now? So they'll be demanding for content, and like you can't please veterans with like content, because they'll play for it in 2 hours and like then be done with it. So what is your solution? Also, if you have like a lot of new players which like would like kind of also want to be able to like join in on new content, like let's make something new where everyone starts afresh. So like a lot of like you're not really going to have any new any resources that you really have that you can put into it. So everyone kind of like starts at the same point. If you're a veteran, you will not be able to just buy every single thing that you already like you can get and just be done with it in 2 hours. You'll just start afresh. But the thing that I felt with that is that it kind of detaches it a little bit from the game. Like for example, like the way that right now, in order to like upgrade your Railjack, you use mods, and before you use something that wasn't mods. So now I understand more where it's coming from. But whenever like they would ship an update, and I also had that with a Conclave and Archwing to begin with, is like whenever I saw these new systems, and it was like, oh man, oh this is so cool, but I need to like get everything, like none of my original like resources or mods or anything just work on this, and I need to start all over again. Unless it was like a super big draw to me, like the first open world was, because you just wanted to explore that, and kind of also had that with Archwing. Like it's kind of like also keeping me away. So I really like that they're allowing Endo to be used and not like the old Blobo thing. And I think that integration is something which really helps it. But what do you think?
So there is some positives and negatives to what you're highlighting. So one of the first things is I feel that when you're playing a game anew, right, it's important to have the choice of doing stuff differently.
Mm-hmm.
So games like the Souls games, where depending on how you interact with certain things in certain orders, different results, blah, 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 blah. I think those are really important. So games like Nier Automata, because it's a carbon copy of the same experience time and time again, I'm not that enthusiastic to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Games like Diablo 3 has a seasonal system. So once every season, you can create a new seasonal character. Well, you can create a series of seasonal characters. And then at the end of that season, that character becomes a normal character. But that is treading old ground again,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that is like playing Nier Automata again from the start to the end, right? You are leveling up from level 1 to level 70, doing some Paragon levels, blah, blah, blah. Like, where's the excitement for that? It's repeating, it's treading old ground again. Playing something like World of Warcraft, where you go from expansion to expansion, yes, you are effectively knocked down a peg again, and you have to start with new gear. You have to get new equipment. You have to, level up to the max level again. You have to, get new reputations to Exalted. You effectively have to do the whole thing again, but it's not old ground. It's new ground. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to going out into the plains, going out into Orb Valis, or going out into Heart of Deimos, it's new ground that you're treading. It's still brand new resources that you have to get, like the
Tokens.
No, not the tokens. There was the it was that plant in the plains. I want to say iridium. I can't honestly. Everyone's gonna have more of it than the bloody sun by now.
Yeah,
right?
but back then, if you got like one, everyone's just like, no fucking way. You like that's not
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to farm gajillions. I have to farm 100 of this stuff. It's like now, like me sat on my throne made of 100,000 of the shit.
Yeah.
But to me, getting new resources and experiencing new environments is more appealing than getting knocked down back to zero and literally have to redo the exact same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I had with original Railjack was it was just kill quests. It was just kill missions.
Oh, yeah.
The skirmish. And because that was all the missions were, that is what was super duper unappealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't want to play, like I just basically skipped out on like the last year of Railjack because I did not find it appealing in the slightest. Right.
Yep.
And now that there's actually different mission types to do, the integration between regular Railjack and Railjack and the regular missions, again, that's much more of a draw because I could do a defense mission. I could do what was the new one? Volatile. Yeah. We could do the volatile. I like the volatile missions, right? There's all sorts of stuff that you can do now, and it's not the same ground you're constantly treading.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a really, really bad thing when it came out that literally every single mission was the same mission. That really doesn't appeal. And like that combined with that, when it came to the Railjack, you needed brand new resources to build it. You needed like brand new things to even upgrade it, or like there were so many new systems for something which wasn't really appealing that it was like, well, it kind of felt like there was like this barrier of entry where it's like, oh yeah, you want to go and farm all of this new things again. And it's like, well, I don't really want to. Yeah, but you want to get to this amazing new game mode. It's like, yeah, but it's not really like I don't like. No, actually, now. I think it's still a big step for the game. I think it's still. I'm really curious to see like how it will turn out because I can see this working better now. The only thing that I'm still worried about is kind of like the overview and the direction that you have in missions, especially when it comes to public lobbies. Because when it comes to Warframe, it has been very much like very one directional sort of thing. Like if you do a defense mission, you defend the objective. If you do a sabotage, you go do a sabotage. There can be sometimes like side objectives, but they're all kind of like very quick side objectives that everyone can do, and like at a certain point in time, everyone will know exactly what they need to do. Railjack is a lot more open in the sense of you can pilot the thing, you can stay on the ship to like repair it, you can go and like go over in your arc wing and like kill everything, you can go and like do side missions, you can go there. There's a lot more like variety in what you can do, and that's also kind of what I think that they're going for. They're trying to have this thing where you're out in space and anything can happen in space. You have this thing of this openness. It's not so much guided like a regular mission is, and like that, like I'm actually curious to see like how that will work when it comes to like the public missions because you're no like only one person can pilot, whereas normally 4 people can defend an objective or 4 people can like survive. And only one like there are like let's say there's got to be one person that pilots and there's got to be one person on the ship that like repairs, or maybe the pilot repairs. It's like if let's say that there needs to be the person on the ship that repairs, like is that as fun as like running around with your Archwing and just killing things, or like it's like there are many different roles, and like I really wonder as to how they'll be filled, and I think that that's a new thing for Warframe to see how that integrates.
I think the big thing with what you're talking about now is you want to matchmake based on intent, right? So, for example, in World of Warcraft, there is a dungeon finder system which basically says, right, I want to do a dungeon, I will happily tank it, right? I want to do a dungeon, I will heal it, so on and so forth, right? And the people that opt to be the tanks will get into the dungeons fuck tons faster than people that want to be DPS, because the desire to be DPS is leagues higher than that of the desire to be tanks. I don't know why. I actually personally prefer to be a tank, right? Like it's a more interesting role because I'm trying to make sure no one else is getting hit. Yeah, I'm making sure all the enemies are hitting me and not anyone else, right? As opposed to, must get highest DPS, must get highest damage, must get, I don't know what the appeal is there. But anyway. So if you do have this, I want to do this with intent system. So I want to do this Railjack mission as a pilot, right? Then it gives DE it gives the player base the opportunity to jump into a mission to do what they want, but then you have a heavily weighted system because, oh no, I always want to be the pilot, right? So I would imagine probably 80%, if not higher, of the player base would want to be a pilot. And that would mean that anyone that's a gunner or a engineer, or just pick any of the other roles, that would they would get snapped up in a heartbeat, because the matchmaking is just going like, oh, we got an engineer, we've got 2 gunners and a pilot, right? Okay, go. Right, pilot, wait there, wait there, wait there, wait there, wait there, right? Like literally the wait time on World of Warcraft for a DPS is 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like that's how heavily overloaded with DPS World of Warcraft is. Right? And even if you incentivize people, if you go for a repair, or if you go for a tank or a healer, we'll give you more. What they don't care. They just want to do DPS. They just want to get touched. Like, and we see that with Warframe. Whenever I would turn around and say, like, yes, but corrosive projection, 0% armor. It doesn't matter if you're doing more damage or not. You're killing them faster, right? And they have less health. They have less effective health. Just fucking take corrosive projection. Nope, no one would fucking take it.
Yeah, well, like that's something which I'm really, really curious about. Is such a system like a good solution, or will that just cause a lot more problems in the sense of I can see forums going mad about, an engineer gets like 2 times more affinity or resources. They're forcing a playstyle on us. But at the same time, also things. Remember how some people just hated the friendship doors? Which, if you want to get through like a friendship door, like both people have to be there and unlock the door. Like I can only imagine if you just want to go out and like have a fun railjack session where you just go out and like go be in your Archwing, and then you just have a pilot that just doesn't want to fucking move because they're just like, oh, I want to explore the space in this corner of the map, and I don't want to go to the objective. Like I can imagine that be like super upsetting to people as well, if they already find a friendship door upsetting. So like, I'm really curious as like how this changed, because as you said, Warframe is very much a changing game. I didn't know how to describe it to begin with, and I don't even know how to describe it right now. And I think that we're just going to see a lot of changes to like either how the player base acts, either how the game integrates things, or yeah, like I really don't know. I really don't know, and I think that that's one thing which has always been curious about Warframe to me is like how they work with what they have and like how they adjust things. A lot of times in directions where I'm really wondering like what's going on, what the heck is happening. But like it does bring up so many good things. So with that said, let's see if we can. Do you still want to talk more about the update, the Railjack retrofit? Are there still things that you're?
Yeah, I want to say, like, I do think that this is definitely the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that this has been a fairly successful update for DE and for Warframe, obviously. I don't think that they're going to sit on their laurels because, soon there's supposed to be the call of the Tempestari, and we don't know how soon that could be. Maybe end of April.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They just said shortly afterwards. But I think the big thing is that they wanted to get Railjack to the PC players so that they could get all the hotfixes done first, right? Which I think is the best way to do it because they couldn't get like constant hotfixes sent to all the consoles and things. They need to make sure that the game is in the right place of mind. And then realistically, I think one of the things that I would like to see is not I want to be the pilot, I want to be the gunner, so on and so forth. But I'd like to see the intent of I want to just do the main objective. I want to do the side objective. I want to do the optional exploration, right? As different nodes. And then that way the matchmaking could at least fit you together with that, much like the whole Eidolon farming or Tridolon farming and things like that. And yeah, and then I want to see them start looking to do squad link between Railjack sessions and regular missions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I can see that. Trigon also asked in European, what can be improved about to make the enjoyment of Railjack better? And he says, it's for me, it's the immersion. I kind of agree with that. Like one of the things which I kind of struggle with, I haven't played all that much Railjack yet. I haven't played that many sessions, but the thing which I think is, I get the concept. I really get the entire idea of like it's a super cool thing that you're flying in space with this giant big ship, and like it's very much akin to the things that we've seen in trailers right now. It's like you have that flying experience. The fact that they made it smaller is great. But the thing which I feel is that whenever I'm in the Railjack, I feel if I'm not piloting it, like the fight is going on outside of me. Like I'm kind of like in this encapsulated thing. I can kind of see outside, but like you can't really track everything that's going on around you because enemies just fly by. So you're just like, okay, maybe if I'm in like the gunner position, then like you can kind of do that shooting thing, but you're very much dependent on like how your pilot flies. So then if I go outside, I feel like I'm much more engaging with the enemies, right? Like I'm much more like choosing my own path, sort of like the way that the original Warframe gameplay does. But then like there are objectives and my Railjack is going somewhere, so I feel like I'm kind of off by my own, and I actually need to be back. What's going on? Do I need to go there? Where do I need to go? And then whenever you're inside the mission, it still feels like, oh fuck, like the fight is going on outside. Do I need to be in? It's still I never really feel like I'm part of the entire picture. I always feel like I'm doing a small subsection, and there are still a lot of things going on which I'm missing, and I don't know whether that's just because like it's a brand new thing and I still need to like get a feel for it and this is a different experience, or whether this is like part of that immersion. How what Trigon is talking about. Trigon's also talking about how I hate how everyone is forced to do the objective. I don't know what to think about that, but go ahead.
No, I'm 100% on board with everyone has to do the objective, right? 101%. You know me, I hate it when everyone misuses percentages, but I really feel that it's important that that happens. The big thing is the intent. So if you say, I'm going to do this node on Venus, but I want to do everything, right? Then anyone that joins that node to do everything, they're all on the same page. They all know that when they joined this, everyone voted to do everything, right? Then you don't have to worry about getting pulled into the main objective because everyone should have done the other stuff first, right? You should have collaborated together. And I don't think it's important. I think it is important that you're not forced to vocally communicate with people, right? I am I have a huge benefit that I can actually play with people over voice, and I don't have to worry about this barrier of communication. It doesn't exist for me, but for the vast majority of people, it does exist. So going in saying, I want to do the side objective, not the exploration, and the main objective, then fine, right? That's great. Everyone's on the same page. Yeah. But you're going to get to a point like, look at the Granum Void. No one does the fucking Granum Void anymore, right? It's just been absolutely fucking ditched because, oh, I got Protea. Don't care about doing the Granum Void anymore. Oh, you want to Void? Well, you can do it by yourself. I'm going to do the main objective because I already have Protea.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of like, remember that Jorda's assassination thing where you needed Arcwing for? That was an assassination mission. You needed Arcwing for it. And it was actually quite a decently hard mission to do. You had to have some experience with Arcwing. However, it released, and like a lot of people just didn't play Arcwing because Arcwing was like kind of a side thing. So initially, like you could always get a squad for that, but I went back to replay on consoles, and around that time, there was just no one in public lobbies to do that. So if you didn't have a good Arcwing, you just had to like grind on that Arcwing stuff before you could do it. And it was like, like one thing which I'm just wondering about is, does kind of like the I don't know, mentality is not the right word, but like does the idea that Warframe has put forward of bite-sized content, which they've very much been like a supporter of, just like 5 minutes in and out sort of content that they're very much supporting, and this thing of everyone having this individual freedom of what they want to do, not being tied to their squad. So like how they introduced in like endless missions, this thing where you can just drop out at any time you like, and you don't have to do that with your squad anymore. Do you think that those things that they have kind of like encouraged, this mentality which I've encouraged over the last few years, collides in a sense with what Railjack is now trying to promote, which is more playing together with a team and doing longer objective sort of thing? Because like you're going in with your Railjack, you're shooting around, and you're going in to do this objective, and you go out and again, and you go, and like you can go on for a lot longer, and you're kind of tied to everyone before you can like exit the mission. So if you have one person that wants to explore the entire map, you're kind of tied to them. Or if you have one person that wants to rush to the objective, like you're going to be forced to go there as well. Do you think that there is some sort of clash that might be happening a little bit with players that have kind of adopted the first mentality and now need to shift? Or is that not even like a difference in perception or idea behind gameplay at all?
No, I think it is. I definitely think there is a clash in mentality. The whole Railjack thing is like, it's not a sandwich size content, which is what you could potentially describe the main game as. Missions are like a sandwich. This is more a main meal, right? So they're a lot bigger, they're a lot more complex, there's a lot more thought and effort put into it, so on and so forth. It's supposed to satisfy you in a different way, to the point of like, you have a sandwich, you want another sandwich, you want another sandwich, you want another sandwich, right? The main meal, you have your main meal, and then you might not want anything else afterwards. It's why I don't encourage endurance runs, because you spend like an hour plus doing a survival mission, and then afterwards you don't want to fucking play the game again, right? So that's like, I don't encourage that at all. But with this, I do feel that there is a wanton desire for that main meal worth of content. Like an endurance run, I say, is like a buffet that everyone just fucking steamrolls at and just gorges themselves senseless, and then be violently sick outside. But the Railjack is like a main meal. It's a proper meal and everything. And you might go for dessert, you might go for seconds, whatever. It's still a big hefty chunk of content. I remember when we played it, was it last Saturday? We did 3 missions, and it took us quite a while to do, but I didn't feel like I had enough, but I wasn't massively invested to just jump back into a 4th mission.
No. I definitely agree on that. I'm like, we had the benefit that we were on voice comms and we were talking about it, and we were just like managing it to get like I can't yet imagine doing this just in a public mission and just relying on people just to be sensible in what they do, because it is quite a hefty thing. But yeah, that is
Dude, right. My last point. You should try fucking World of Warcraft. When you're not able to talk to everyone and you like praise the love of fucking Christ that the healer is actually paying attention and that, wait, why is the healer back there? Why is the healer drinking something on the floor? Why didn't they tell us that they're out of mana? We've just pulled the fucking boss. What the fuck, healer? Now they're locked outside of the boss room and now we're fucking gonna wipe. Fucking hell, healer. Right? No, seriously, that sort of shit happens.
Oh my god.
Quite a lot.
Oh my god. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. That is Railjack Retrofit. That said, going over 8 years of Warframe, I do kind of like wanna like touch on that just a little bit more with like two things. I think one thing is I have not prepared this, so I really don't know like what the best way of phrasing it, but it's probably just like one thing which like you think that is like one of the most important things that's stuck with you with Warframe from like the last 8 years. Might be like something that they changed in the industry or something that like was a very meaningful moment to you. Like just something like what has like if you had to like say like bring up something which really stuck with you from like Warframe of the last 8 years, what would that be? And then I think number two would be over the next maybe 8 years, what would you like to see like this game bring forth? I think that those might be like the two, like they're big questions, but they're also kind of like fitting to this thing.
To me, the War Within and more missions like the War Within. Like, yeah.
You mean like
I mean,
the new war?
Yeah, like the new war.
Oh man,
I want the new war.
Honestly, like I don't know what the thing was with the cinematic quests because I really enjoyed them. Like the cinematic quests were like the first time that Warframe like I can't like it was intriguing at the start and it kind of had me where it's like, oh man, what could this be? And like I was making my own fantasies about like what the idea behind the Tenno could be. And then the cinematic quest started, and it's like, oh, I'm into this now. This has happened. This is and like the only criticisms I have ever heard about cinematic quests was that they took a long time to complete because like the new war was like very quickly announced after the second dream and it like took 11 months and people were like, oh, what's this war for 11 months? But I thought it was really enjoyable.
Do you mean the War Within?
Yeah, the War Within. Did I say New War?
Yeah.
I mean War Within. So the War Within was like announced very quickly after the second dream, but I mean, like I really enjoyed that. And the Sacrifice as well. The Sacrifice again was something where a lot of the criticisms came from that it wasn't a bad quest. It was more that it was like that we have to wait so long again. So like that's the only criticism I've really heard about a cinematic quest. I've never heard anyone come forward and say, "Oh my god, now go do cinematic quests again. Oh my god, they released a cinematic quest. Oh, I hate this. Oh no, I'm never gonna play." Like people really enjoyed them, and like it's been how many years since we had like, I really miss those. And yeah,
To be honest, I do feel that it's a vocal minority that really engaged with cinematic quests. It wasn't the mass majority of players because again, like there are some people that just couldn't give the shit about the plot. Like I've watched, oh god, what's the name of the damn thing? The Trash Taste podcast. I've kind of stopped watching it for a while now, but the whole point is that one of them will not follow the plot of a game in the slightest. Oh, plot skip. And I'm like, what the hell even? But there are players within the Warframe community that are exactly the same, and it just baffles my mind.
no, I get that, but like the thing which baffles me even more is that I do think that. I mean, Arcwing, for instance, wasn't a very much loved thing either, but still, they kept it with every single update. Arcwing would always be present; it would always be there, even when people were like, I don't know if I want to have it in my cinematic quest experience. I don't know if I want to have it in my open world experience. I don't know if I want to have it in my Railjack experience or anywhere. They would always have it, and like I don't know what happened when they said New War is going to be out, whatever. Like they were also making so many teasers in the sense of like things were happening, and I was like, okay, and then like. We haven't seen something since like the Sacrifice of like the big cinematic scale, and like I don't know what happened, but that's a big loss, and I miss them, and I hope it's like the new war is such a confusing thing as well. Because some people say it's like we're still waiting on it. Some people say it's already going on. Other people say like we're closing up with the new war soon. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Like it doesn't. No, just no. Like just give me the fucking quest. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you can give me all these prologues and what the fuck ever you want, all these snippets. But like, it doesn't contextually make sense anymore because all of a sudden what's the Orphix? No, not the Orphix.
Heart of Deimos.
No. Shit, what was the name of the damn things?
Sentience.
No,
Orokin.
Sentience.
Necromix.
Scarlet Spear. I can't remember what the name of the freaking giant pylon bastards are called. Yeah, they've just stopped spawning. I'm like, so wait,
Orphixes?
what is no, it's not the Orphix, right? The Orphix are the tiny ones. Same model, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then during Scarlet Spear, you had a much bigger one. I began with a C. I can't remember. Someone in chat, like, come on, for the love of God, please put me out with mine.
Dragon says Connors. I'm just calling Connors because, I mean, Hydrox says Connors, and I'm imagining, like, big, giant, like, Hydroxates in space.
Chondrix! That's the fucker. Anyway. So, yeah, like, you know, so what was that last plot element about? Like, it makes zero sense now because the event's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Anyway,
I very, very much agree with you. In the sense of there have been so many plot threads that I was so into the lore. I think 2018 when the Sacrifice came around, like I would do theories, I would like see whatever I could find. But the thing is there have been so many storylines where I've been. We had the Lotus, of course, doing their thing with Dallas, which has kind of been pursued, but at the same time, when that was like heavily teased, the next quest we got was all about Umbra, and the Lotus was just like a tease, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that next time. And afterwards, there have been a couple of teases, but not like a full fledged quest. Then we had like the Man on the Wall with Chains of Harrow, which was very, very interesting. I wanted to see more with Raw, and like, I don't really like. That kind of ended there. We still have Stoker from like the original second Dream Quest, who I think Umbra stole his spot, and I really want to see more of that. Like there are so many quest lines which are just kind of open that right now, like I like the last quest or teaser quest which I really sort of followed was that Era thing, but that's like I only half watched that because like it was so deep into Railjack, and I just like it was again just a teaser quest that I was like I can't have another teaser quest. I just need a full-fledged thing to like wrap some things up because otherwise I'm just gonna really lose interest because it's just like nothing's happening. It's like you're watching Naruto and you just come out of filler and like there's 2 episodes and then you're back into a filler arc again. I'm like, oh my god, I gave up on that too. I kind of need to go back and like finish it, but yeah, like that's all over the place now. And yeah, like all the Heart of Deimos. Oh yeah, this thing is crucial for keeping void magic in space.
Is what I'm hearing.
All right. Okay, so
move on to the next topic.
Yeah, let's move on to the next topic. Let's go ahead and do that right here. So, one of our topics right here, the first topic is Discord is exploring options for selling itself for over $10 billion. So, Discord right now is up for sale. If you want to go and buy it and you have $10 billion laying around, go and buy Discord if you want to. So, 2 sources familiar with the matter have said that Discord is exploring options for a sale in the wake of interest of like multiple parties trying to buy the company. Obviously, the company has seen a lot of growth, especially during the lockdown period of time where like a lot of people have been gaming a lot more. Steam numbers are up, and Discord obviously is like the prime place to go if you don't want to go to Skype or you want to use TeamSpeak. Or Gilded, actually. Actually, I see so many little people mention Gilded, but we'll get to that at some point, probably. But anyway, so like there's been a lot of interest, and one source has said that the public has or might have already signed an exclusive acquisition discussion with one party, meaning that the final negotiations are already set in for about the sale. So, rumors on the internet have already been spawned. Some people have been mentioning Microsoft has displayed interest. Microsoft has a really, really like scarce catalog of, internet discussion or internet voice over talking programs. They don't have anything. Don't think they have like Teams or they have like Skype or anything. They don't have that. You just thought that was the case, but they probably want Discord.
Are you high? I think you're high. You're talking shit, man.
Anyway. But also, like companies like Tencent and Facebook are mentioned on the internet for. There's no evidence backing that up, but there's just people speculating on there. There's also people that are hinting on Discord maybe going public because Roblox, which was also a company that benefited greatly from the lockdowns, went public. We discussed that on the Framecast before, and it's now valued over $14 billion after going public. So that might also be an option that they're pursuing. So we don't really know what's going on. However, the thing is that last year, Discord has noted that its business model is not yet profitable as it is. Discord doesn't feature really a lot of ads, any ads at all, in their user experience. And there is this option to use your Nitro subscription to get like a paid subscription to Discord, but a lot of people still use it as a free to use service. So talks of selling Discord have already been around in earlier years, so this could also just be a fluke as it was before. But then people just like didn't buy it because Discord does not want to have ads on their platform. Whether that stands changes, we don't know. But an acquisition of Discord. Could you think of any company you would like to have buy Discord, of the companies that you think can buy Discord?
Not really. Because, I mean, it's like maybe Sony.
That is actually a thing. That's actually a choice I hadn't thought about.
Yeah, maybe Sony.
Hmm.
No, Epic, Trigon, Epic can fuck off. Steam would be another one.
Valve, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so far, the companies which I hear just like kind of make me worry, because if I hear people talk about Microsoft, I'm kind of like, oh boy, look at what they did when they bought Skype. Oh boy, you know.
But look what they've done when they bought Bethesda, right? They've had next to no interaction with them whatsoever. When they bought Skype was a piece of shit before Microsoft bought it. It just continued to be a piece of shit, right?
True that.
You know, look at Mixer, right? I think Mixer was a brand new platform before, you know, like it was just like something that Microsoft paid for to begin with, but it wasn't profitable in the slightest. So I feel that unless Discord can be profitable for Microsoft, they'll just axe it, right? I think that if they buy it, oh, it's not working out, it's not making us any money, gone, right? And then everyone will just move over to Gilded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or they'll start doing things like, oh, yeah, well, in order to use this service, you have to pay for it. And, you know, you get the idea. And then everyone will just move to Gilded.
Well, one of the things which I haven't appreciated until now is that Discord has been kind of like this independent pillar in the gaming industry, which isn't really controlled by any big company. That's not like they are of course a big company with like a $10 billion dollar product on their hands sort of thing, but like I can imagine, let's say that Microsoft were to buy Discord, like they could just be like, well, you know, if you got the Xbox Game Pass, or if you're an Xbox Live Gold member, here are some Discord benefits, and if you're on the Sony PlayStation or not, you don't get those. Or Epic being like, well, if you Discord now becomes integrated into the Epic Game Store. The Epic Game Store becomes integrated in Discord. So exclusive. There are oh my god, or Facebook.
I don't like Facebook is one company I would totally see them doing that. Oh, in order to use Discord, you have to have a Facebook account. Moving over to Gilded, you know. What's the next point of call I was going to say? Discord, Gilded,
Epic, Microsoft, exclusive,
Facebook. But Microsoft have been like, you know, they have Skype. I think Skype still exists. They have Teams. They haven't merged those two things together. I think realistically, Microsoft want to get their thumbs in as many pies as possible. And Discord is a demographic. It's a platform that's got a demographic for gamers, right? So they wouldn't want to mix Discord with Teams or anything like that. They wouldn't want to try to do that. So, you know, I think they would just keep Discord separate.
Yeah. The thing which I wonder about when it comes to an acquisition is what would how could Discord really be improved in the sense of, first of all, like the user experience? Do you think that there's anything in the user experience really that needs a big revision or needs a lot of improvement in?
Yeah, consistency across the board. I mean, a lot of people have worked out how to use Discord, but the fact that you have different sub menus when you're pressing different buttons on different areas, it's just like, this is stupid. Like, how can you maintain consistency in a situation like this? Whereas with trying hard to think now, I feel that, yeah, there's that. There's a few things that are like, you know, API related that I think that they can make easier for the developer base, but again, that's not really what a lot of users will see. In terms of voice communication, I think it's fine. In terms of text communication, I think it has something to be desired. Again, this is something similar to Slack. I fucking hate @here, right?
Oh,
Yeah, @here can go die in a fucking hole. It pisses me off to no end.
why do you
Right?
hate it so much?
Well, because like if someone's trying to get my attention for something worth, so for example, I'm on Cold Scars Discord, and there was an @here that basically warned people of Reddit where they're stealing people, so where Redditors are stealing people's captura scenes, like captura art, and claiming that it's theirs, right? And they turn around and say, like, if anyone's caught doing this, then we're just gonna slam on you, sort of thing. But then you have other Discords that, you know, @here I'm going live. It's like, could you not? Could you make it?
Oh, I know a very triggering one. Here, I just published a YouTube short. Oh.
Mine's on a notification. What are you talking about? Mine does a roll. What are you banging on about? What are you banging on?
That one single test, which was
Oh, shut up, you.
Casino tried it once, and I don't know how successful.
It made no difference. It made zero difference. No. I can tell you that.
Well, like I really don't like that either. The thing which I find is @here and @everyone, I really don't like it, because the thing which I find is I don't want, like maybe this is a problem with me as being a content creator. Maybe that's why I'm not PewDiePie levels. Maybe that's it. I'm not putting @here in my Discord, and that's why I don't have 100 million subscribers. Yeah. God dang it! I just figured it out. Yeah. But the thing is, I don't want to be I don't want to be intrusive into people's lives, because the thing is I know that even though like my channel and my videos and my content, whatever, is very important to me, it is just another channel in people's lives. Like, I watch many YouTube channels, I watch many Twitch channels, and there are times in which I watch people more and watch people less, and like, and that's the way the internet works. Like, you're not gonna be the number one thing that everyone cares about all the fucking time. So the thing which I want is, I want to have a thing where, like, okay, if you want to stay up to date with what's going on, there are channels available. You already have your sub feed where videos should pop up. You already have your Twitch app, where if you're on Twitch, you should be able to see that I am live right now. And then an extra thing, if you're on Discord, there is like this little thing, like there's an announcement tab where every single time a bot just posts, I'm going live, or there's a new video out. I don't think there's a need to do an @everyone or @here every single time. A goddamn mention to the entire server, like, oh my god, I'm going live. Oh my god, I made a video. It's like, dude, if I care about these mentions, that I want to keep my notifications for your server on, that I already have my notifications on in my app, so I don't need another one.
It's not just that, right? So literally, I've just tried again to mute like some of the prolific @heres, right? I've gone on things like channel muted until I unmute it. Notifications, nothing. I still get the notifications. Can you please fucking fix it, Discord?
Don't you have the mute @here and @everyone turn on?
No, that's all off. I've turned it all off.
Thing. Yeah, like,
and I still get the notification icons.
That is crazy, because I don't get them anymore. Like, I used to have a lot of Discords turned on because I thought it was cool to engage with people's communities, until I just got so tired of it, I just muted them all. And like, this is something which I've also discovered, is that if people start to use @here or @everyone, I will mute their fucking Discord. And then if they actually have something which is important to tell me, I will not listen because I'll have their Discord muted. I will not be able to hear it because I don't care at
Oh
here or
wait,
at everyone.
I've just found yet another option, which is suppress at everyone at
Yeah,
here.
that's
Okay.
the one I meant. Yeah.
But like, why can't I just do it on a channel level, right? Why do I have to do it across the whole server?
Well, because some like actually like that makes sense. But I mean, I know some servers just have the add here or at everyone like available for everyone to use. And that's also a wonderful experience whenever like I know some people are just like very like they're very well meaning when they do this, but they might not be they might be very susceptible. But like you notice times when there's like this copy pasta thing where it's like, oh, watch out, there's user Discord user yada 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 number code that is trying to that's a hacker. If you engage with them, you can get your Discord account hacked. Don't engage with this user. And they like people just like see that because it gets posted in the server, and then they copy that and they adhere it in like everyone's Discords that they're in because they think it's like an important message, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
And please don't adhere at everyone like ever, because like I don't know. I really I've never found a use for it unless there was something like super fucking important. But that's like once in a year or two that happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, one thing which I kind of wanted to touch on because it also integrates with our next topic is, are you surprised that like Discord said like even last year with like really good user year that Discord has said that its business model right now is not yet profitable. Are you surprised about that?
No, not in the slightest. It's not. It can't possibly be profitable. Like, they're not charging their users.
No.
It's like, for the love of fuck. I mean, if they what they could do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think. First off, get rid of the private calls, right? Then you can have private channels. No. Hold on. You have private channels in your Discord server if you so wish, right? It's up to you to set up. But you pay for the Discord server when people are verbally talking on it. You don't pay for it any other time. Yeah? So if no one's on it, then you don't have to pay for it. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Well, like the thing which I wonder about is if you would have to pay for if people are like focally on the Discord server, and people can generally join with a link, which is kind of like what the Discord server is because it's for communities to like YouTube communities, Twitch communities, gaming communities to like meet up. What is preventing people from meeting up in, let's say, TeamSpeak, which is free, and then being like,
TeamSpeak is not free.
I mean, like you run your own server.
Yeah, that's not free.
Yeah, but like just say that I run my own server. Like I don't have to pay physical like I have to pay physical money for my computer, but like let's say
Yeah.
we go on Skype or whatever, and then we're like, hey, let's get it together like 50 people, 100 people, and let's just go like find some Discord server, and then just like go and like be on their voice activity all day long, just blast some music or whatever, and then like we're gonna get banned, but we're gonna make 10 or different accounts, and we're just gonna raise up their Discord bill. Like I guarantee that shit is gonna happen.
No, but so what I'm referring to is so say the hosting, I will pay hosting for hosting up to like 10 people on the server, and this will cost me, I don't know, £5, right, a month. Yeah, so basically your bill cannot go beyond that £5 budget. Yeah, so services like Amazon, you can specify how much you are prepared to pay. After that, you get like all the red flags go off, so on and so forth, that there's a problem, your bills costing too much, or they even predict how much your bills are going to cost. Yeah, so you could do all sorts of crazy stuff like this, by trying to identify like how much things are going to cost. But I think if you have an upper budget threshold with this is the maximum number of concurrent people you can have, so on and so forth, then that is better. But I think the big thing with Discord communication, I'm trying to remember if it's through a central server. I don't know if the communication is through a central server or if it goes out to everyone. No, I think it is through a central server. So basically, I'm talking like a peer-to-peer network as opposed to, one server controls it. I think it is central.
Yeah,
And that
I
That
was actually wondering about when it comes to like you said no private messages, but would it be possible to like have a peer to peer like private voice call sort of thing?
um trying to think. The maybe voice but not video.
What's
Uh
what's the limit on that? Because like let's just make it very
So okay,
simple. Oh, no, well,
so
yeah,
that's two people, right?
yeah,
Two people talking to each other. I am currently using 50 kilobytes per second upload, which is why my 60, 65, 70, it's fluctuating all over
yeah.
the place. This is why my video looks like utter garbage, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
my bandwidth is just not good enough to support, better picture. Anyway, the point is with person to person, right? That's the bandwidth I'm currently using. Imagine if there was a third person. I would have to send the same information that I'm sending to you to them as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? My internet physically cannot support two,
Data streams.
you know, exactly, right?
Yeah.
You could do something clever where basically the call, like the client negotiates, right? Do you have the bandwidth to do this? No, no, you don't. Well, I do, so I will act as a relay for you. So when I'm talking to you, it will hand on to Loz, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will show the picture, you will do the audio to Loz. You will be my relay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it might like add on half a second to a second worth of delay, but that's a possibility. But the thing is, no one comprehends like this whole idea of, you know, putting the balancing the stress evenly across the whole thing. It's like, nope, it has to come from the source. It's like the one thing has to do everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one thinks about like clever ways of balancing the load.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering about it, like when it comes to like one-on-one sort of thing, because I'm sending you my latest stream right now, and you're receiving it, and you're sending me yours. But yeah, especially when it comes to like sharing it to like multiple people, sharing it across multiple like devices at the same time, like that becomes a thing. Let's see. Espino says Discord could become Microsoft's social media platform, but but instead it's group / community centric. They would not need to monetize it by charging their owners. They can just throw ads and sell analytics like other social media outlets. Do you think that there's any place for ads on Discord?
If fucking ads turn up on Discord, I'm out. No word of a lie. I fucking hate ads. Like, I'll watch something on TV at my parents', and the second an advert comes on, I start to get really angry and pissed off. Right.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in time, I was watching House MD with my dad, and an advert just turned on, and it's for some shitty car insurance or some shitty home insurance or pet insurance, or don't get me wrong, I love pets, right? I love them with a passion, but these fucking shitty adverts, they piss me off to no end. So I'm going to demonetize your video now. I got so upset.
Hey. I got some good news for you. Don't you worry about it. I have not seen on the channel that this is being posted on ever a single ad before, so you don't have to worry about that at all. There's no demonetization possible.
Good, right? But the big thing for me is when that advert turned on, I literally got up, went over to the DVD shelves, grabbed the season box set, found which episode, what DVD the episode was on, and put it back in the DVD player to continue watching the episode ad free. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I detest adverts. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like when it was back in the 90s, adverts were clever. They were smart. They, not some fat bastard just singing his lungs out about Go Compare. I couldn't give a flying fuck about Go Compare. Like, the adverts on Twitch are just as viral, right? They are infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
I come on Twitch to watch someone. I don't want to, and I'm not going to spend like £5 per person just so I could watch something ad free. I pay 12 quid ish for YouTube Premium, and I know that there are some people out there I'd rather watch the adverts, right? But adverts are just so in your face. I have to work for one company, and they have fucking like literally, you load the page, the whole of the bloody web page is a fucking advert,
Oh
and you
my
have to
God.
scroll down before the advert goes away. Honestly, adverts make me so angry.
Oh, like I can really feel that, and
Why? Because I'm so loud.
there's like 3 or 4 directions that we could take this in. First of all, we could go into like the Twitch model thing that you described, where it's like if you want to have an ad-free experience, you got to pay $5 a person. Whereas with like YouTube, it's like YouTube Premium. We could go into oh my God. We could go a little bit more into hold on. Espina says only don't like ads when I'm watching anime, YouTube or Twitch. I don't care at all.
So the big thing for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm watching a show, I want to watch from start to end ad free.
Yeah.
Right? I know, like we tried. God, what did we try and watch? We tried to watch something on Crunchyroll like years ago. I think it might have maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember when.
Mm-hmm.
But every 5 to 10 minutes, it was every 5 minutes. That was it. There was another advert, and it was fucking Crunchyroll. I was like, yeah, Crunchyroll, I know of your service. I'm watching it right now, or I'm trying to at least, but you're not fucking off.
Oh man.
And
I just like mid rolls. Like I don't know who thought of a good idea. Like why mid rolls? It's like it's not like anyone's ever like, oh, I'm like here in the middle of the podcast, and I'm just listening, I'm almost falling asleep, and bam, here's a really loud car ad. I'm actually gonna go out and buy the car right now because that just scared me half to death, and I really did not interrupt that video that I really enjoyed.
But the big thing is, like, if it's a proper placement for, like, if you could choose, right, I have made a good cutoff for you to put a mid-roll in, put it there, that's fine, right? But when you have no choice of what gets interrupted, that's infuriating. Not only that, targeted advertisements are fucking bullshit, right? They do not bloody work. Yeah? Like, I do not care to see stuff about my job as an advert. I don't care to see stuff about, oh, you're a guy, therefore you like cars. I don't drive. Oh, you're a gamer, therefore you like stuff about Rolex watches. I literally got adverts for Rolex watches on YouTube at one point. I was like, I'm a gamer. What the fuck do you think I'm spending money on? Not a fucking Rolex watch, I'll tell you that much.
I absolutely love how you like come forward and said like, oh yeah, you're a gamer, so you must like Rolex watches. Like, I don't think anyone's ever made that connection before. Where it's like, oh man, like the great minds at Rolex are just like, who shall we develop a new gamers? Oh my! Can you imagine a Rolex gamer watch with like that? With like it's gotta have a really ugly color, like really ugly green or something, or like a really hideous color. It's gonna be like oversized, and like it's gotta have a tactical button which you can push, and it doesn't do anything, but it just has a tactical button. Like, oh yeah, please Rolex, make it. I will not buy it, but I'll laugh at it.
So Madge has turned around and said, like, get free Genshin Primo gems, right? Like, that, as an advert, makes sense. Weirdly enough, oh god, the adverts I get on Instagram are nothing but mobile game adverts, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, when have I ever shown you any interest in mobile game adverts?
It's just because mobile games pay so much in advertisements. But it's a third party ad. Oh man, yeah, it's like kind of like the free V-Bucks, that sort of thing. But okay, so this kind of ties into a question which I wanted to get, which also relates to the next topic, sort of thing. But what do you think of like this business model where a lot of companies which have been popping up like over the last decade or two, which are very much like internet based, like these companies, like a lot of these companies adopt a business model which is very much focused on, let's provide a great service, but let's do it at a complete loss because we want to grow big and we want to make a company grow big. We want to undercut all the people out there, and then at a certain point in time, either we're gonna like bring in a subscription model that people are gonna hate, or we're gonna bring in a butt ton of ads, or or even better, we're just gonna see if there's some some idiot out there that has a lot of money that wants to buy our company so we can make bank, and then the moment that they buy it and they open up the box and the company's entire gut of trash. So for example, like YouTube started out with this thing where, oh my god, there's videos online, you can do all these sorts of things, and now all of a sudden, boom, it's filled with ads. Same with, I mean, Discord, for example. Discord offers a great service right now, but I mean, it's not running at a profit, it's running at a loss, sort of thing. So like at a certain point in time, either people are going to have to pay for it or there's going to be ads, and people will fucking hate that. So like, what do you think of this business model? Because there's so many companies that are adopting it, and like I feel like they're just kind of like starting out it's. I don't like it because they set expectations and then just like they have to come around because it's not this fairy world that they imagine it is, because like they still have to pay their bills, but they just like forget about it at the start.
The big thing is that there's ad revenue is so prolific.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It is like the things that push, companies from the back to the front. Like, look at oh god, Raid Shadow Legend, right? How many adverts do you think that you saw with Raid, like truck tons? Surely you saw loads of, but that's because whenever they were increasing their awareness with their ad campaigns, they were really benefiting from people trying the game, right? I tried the game, I gave it a go. When Markiplier did a sponsored bit for was it AFK Arena, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually tried AFK Arena. I fucking hated it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I actually gave it a go. Adverts done right, done smart, like how content creators do them, are actually really interesting. But adverts that are, bland and boring as shit, they are there to be like an earworm in someone's head, right? Where, oh man, I need to sort out my car insurance. And then you think about the Go Compare guy, right?
Well, yeah. Or even more so, like this is recently where I found that what is it? That adverts kind of work, even though I never really believed they work. But like, I don't know what I was shopping for, but there was something I was looking for, and I had no idea. Like it was a field where I'm not very skilled in, or like I don't really know what's out there. So I was just going over like the options of things that I can buy, and like when you have a lot of options of something you can buy, where something are way more expensive, something are way more cheap. Like you have no idea where your gauge is. Like, am I overpaying for something, or am I gonna buy something dirt cheap, which is gonna break?
Yeah.
So sometimes you want to sit in the middle, but you don't want to like be cheated, and then like you'll have a couple of products to compare, and then you just see like a name which you have heard before. Not that you think back to the advertisements, it's like, okay, so I know that brand, and there's like two more brands which you've never heard of because you've never seen advertisement, and you tend to go with the one that you're kind of familiar with because at least that somewhere rings a bell. Not because I remember the app, but just because, oh yeah, that brand seems familiar. I think that's where they kind of play on, at the very least.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like there was an advert for Hastings Direct, which is a car insurance company, and I will always remember the jingle, which is like 0800 00 1066, and like I will just forever, that's stuck in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will always remember that thing. But again, that was because it played to me so goddamn often that I effectively gave up the will to live.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of so adverts that are so prolific will work over time, right? And that's what these companies are betting on. They're sort of like, oh, if we basically bombard people enough with our advert, eventually they'll try it.
Yeah. Or it will stick. Well, like, so one thing which I really find with advertisements is like, I mean, like, no one really likes them, but like, I also don't hate them with a passion, sort of thing. The thing which I find is that they are a great enabler for content to be freely accessible for people, and I think that is something which has a lot of worth to a lot of the world. Because look at YouTube, for example. Dragon here asks, like, how do you all feel about YouTubers you watch make sponsor segments in their video? I honestly think it's a good thing. That said, I will double tap twice to skip it, but I think it's a good thing because the thing is, it's like YouTube is not really obliged to like look for your sponsor spots. Like you are hosting it on their website. They're providing you a service of like having the servers up and like allowing you to store videos on it. But like they don't have to go and like be your management. They do that anyways because it also supports their thing and they take a big hefty share of it. But so like I think that whenever a YouTuber has sponsor spots, like that's something where they keep their business going. And I thought about it. Like I've also thought about sponsor spots quite a bit in advertisement because the thing is if I look back at like some good television shows, like there are many bad television shows where I'm like so glad that we're here in like new media sort of thing, social media sort of thing, where here on YouTube there's so much more interaction with the person I'm watching. It doesn't feel scripted, it doesn't feel fake. If like I mean some are, but like the essence of it is a lot more real than it was on television. But the thing is if I look at shows which I like, for example, Top Gear, back then, like whenever a show started, it was always like. Hello and welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Top Gear. Today, we're launching a car into space. We're doing this thing or whatever. Like they would do crazy things, but it would never start off saying, "Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're launching a car into space, and our show is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends and Roy Joys, and you can support us on Patreon," because they had the advertisement. They had the money from like the television licenses because they were broadcast on the BBC, and because of that, they had the money to support their show. And I think that. Like having those things does in some way detract from the show. It does in some way detract from the content because you have to like bring up this thing we're sponsored or support, and like it is a thing that kind of brings it down, but it is a very necessary thing because I thought about like, okay, so what if you would do a something that doesn't have ads, but what people actually pay for, not like YouTube Premium, because the thing with YouTube Premium again is again it's kind of like YouTube helping you out there, which is a good thing. But the thing at the end of the day is if you like if you were like it's $12 a month, and it's like for $12 a month, like how many creators you might watch, if that's 20, like 20 people can't live of just $12 a month from you alone. Like there's going to be a lot of people, and the thing is at the end, like even if you were to get all the money that you would be able to support your show, it's not going to get viewed as much because what you find is that a lot of people don't go out and buy things, buy subscriptions, buy DVD boxes or anything because they don't know it. They'll only buy it if they know it, but even then, very, very little. So, like, the only reason why TV worked with, like, this paid model is because everyone kind of already had a TV license, and if you watch TV, that was kind of open and free to you watching, even though you paid for it, but whatever, you didn't care. However, if you were to now start and say, like, I only make videos, and it's, like, $5 a month, and because of that, I have no advertisement, everything can be sponsored, that's never going to work. You're never going to get it open. So this entire, like, open forum that we have online, which we're like, oh, everyone can have a voice, and everyone can host their own thing, that's only possible because the platforms on which that's being hosted are being run by ads. So I can get why there are ads in there. I may not like them, but it's kind of like, it's so, like, how else would you pay for it? How else would you, like, make this run if you still want to have that free open access that everyone can, like, watch it? But, like, I have no idea. I don't know how it would be done.
I'm going to mostly answer the original question. I have no issue with YouTubers having sponsor bots. I got no issue with them. I think one, it supports the person I'm interested in. You know, it supports, like, I love the Game Grumps Crunchyroll sponsor spots.
Mm-hmm.
They were hilarious. They put like maybe 30 minutes worth of effort into that, and it was hilarious, right? The same with the sponsored segment for, what was it? The Shovel Knight amiibos, right?
Mm-hmm.
For again the Game Grumps. I absolutely love them, right? Markiplier's sponsor segments are hilarious, although I can't remember many of them. He doesn't do them often. Corridor Digital sponsor segments, like, they feel really fucking forced because effectively they get Jake, who's like the studio manager, to just read out a script, right? And he puts a lot of work and enthusiasm in them. But the problem is that, like, you can only hear the same story so many times
Before you know, it's just like...
Yeah, and it's just like...
Yeah, well, so... I I kind of have like two things which I like. So if how do I put this? Okay, so like I think that there can be two sorts of sponsorships or like sponsorship things which I would be open for, which I like to see. Is one is where a company is like, hey, you have an audience, and we want you to broadcast our message to your audience. And you have one where it's like, hey, we see you like our product, let us like support you and like amplify your message. And I'll give some examples. So the first thing is like, let's say that a company just wants to broadcast their message. I think the channel that does this really, really well is Linus Tech Tips. So Linus Tech Tips will have for every single video they start and end, like at the start and end, they will have a 10-second segment where they just say they read off the script, but that's perfectly fine. They'll just be like, and this video is brought to you by company name. This company brings you this product which does this, and you can find it in the link below. And it's like, they're not saying, we love this. This is the best thing in the business. This I've tried it myself and it's fantastic. No, they just say this company is selling this thing, and they want you to hear this. And like, I think that is perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable, because at the end of the day, like, that's kind of what companies want, and I can very well understand it. Like, I don't like this thing where, for example, like the Roy Joys are like these things which like people are like, oh yeah, get these Ranjans and they're fantastic audio quality and they're really cheap and like they're fantastic, they're better than AirPods and whatever. It's like, then you get honest reviews and it's kind of like, yeah. And you get like, oh, Raid Shadow Legends and go play, it's so fantastic. And you get like, yeah. It's like, if you tell me like, oh man, I love this, I'm playing this all the time, and you are not, like, I don't like that, because you're lying to me. And like, I'm fine with you telling a message, but don't lie to me about what you're experiencing. And then the other side is, and the channel that does this really fucking well is Internet Common Etiquette, is where they find a sponsor that they can align with, NordVPN, and they, like, his ads are just so insanely well done. Like, he just makes entire skits for it, and I'm like, yeah, I love that. Like, that is integration of the of like the ad into the content. Just like Xeno is holding up a pair of headphones right now.
These are the Sennheiser 550 Mark II soundproof Bluetooth headsets, right?
Short name it.
I'm not sponsored in any capacity. I fucking love these headphones. They're not cheap. They cost me 250 quid, and they were fucking worth it. They have 30 hours of battery life. I use them literally all the fucking time. Like, you know, I can't go out much, right? But the number of times you're like, okay, I'm stuck on the phone talking to someone. I can't do any video editing. But what I can do is, you know, put the phone on the speaker, right? Say, you know, keep talking, turn on the headset, literally just open it up and it turns on. And then turn on my Bluetooth, wait for it to compare. Sometimes I have to do it manually. And then continue to talk to them while I do the washing up, while I do some cleaning, while well, not when I go to the toilet, but sometimes I'm like, damn it. But the whole point is that this is an expensive product that you will not find sponsored anywhere. Why? Because word of mouth alone justifies the cost, right? I bought these nearly a year ago, and they were fucking worth the money.
Well,
right?
let me tell you something. And like, this will probably need a little like search if someone can do that. Probably if Famous watching this, if you can, like, that would be sweet. Otherwise, I'll see if I can look it up for next week. I have seen a couple of months ago rumors that Sennheiser is amazing. I'm using Sennheiser headphones as well, not sponsored. I think they're really good. They're discontinuing their consumer headphone division.
What?
Yeah. I read this about like I think like 1 or 2 months ago, and like the rumors were that they were discontinuing it. I'm like, how? That is like their best thing in the world. I'm gonna see if I can find like a Sennheiser to discontinue, but like I'll see if I can find it. But like that's one thing that I was thinking about while you were talking. Like Sennheiser, like I really like their headphones.
Yeah.
But yeah, their consumer brand apparently they either can discontinue it or selling it off. Let's see. I'll see if I can find more about it. But like I saw it about on Tech News recently.
Sorry, Bill Dogs. I did actually respond. I said Lilo and Stitch. They're asking what's your favorite Disney movie, and I said Lilo and Stitch. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll see if I can find more of that later because like I don't have that source ready, but I saw that like 2 months ago pop by, and I was like, what the frick? I really hope that that was a rumor and that wasn't confirmed, but like they're really really good, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's crazy.
But like. I don't necessarily think that all advertisement is bad. Like for example, like the best $50 that I've spent over the last 2 years is buying a kit for my Fix It, which is like that's heavily advertised on many tech channels. But I bought this thing, which is like a full kit with like all the like standard screw, like all the tiny screw bits for like all sorts of things so you can open up every single phone, every single controller you can open up. It has some spudgers and things, and I have been able to fix so many things. Like right now, like I broke my Xbox controller, like the D-pad broke. But the thing that
Oh, right.
broke was just like the D-pad has this thing which is like in order to like contact the motherboard, it just has the D-pad is like a piece of plastic and that clicks down on some metal domes that are on a sticker, and one of those metal
Right.
domes had collapsed. So it's
Right.
literally that's like I can't use it anymore because the D-pad is broken, but that's just a sticker. I was able to buy two stickers for like $2.
Right.
And because of that kit, I can open it up. I can just open up the thing, and I can open up these screws, which are like all these standard security screws because they don't want you to get in. And I can fix that controller for $2 instead of buying a new one for 50 or $60. Like that's already kind of the price of that thing. And there have been so many phones, gadgets, devices I've been able to open up with that thing that I've just been able to like, oh, there was a smartphone. There was a smartphone where like the what is it? The speaker was clogged up and you couldn't hear anything out of it anymore. Open it up, just like brush it out. It works perfectly. Like I think that was like that toolkit was something which like I was not expecting to be very very good because like I've seen so many advertisements of it. I've just enjoyed it so much. I continue to enjoy it. So there are some good products that are really good being advertised.
Yeah, and I do feel that the depending on the person, depending on the content creator, you can really trust what the sponsorship is. Some of them is just like, but do you really? Whereas, did you really use that like Raycon headphones
Yeah.
and things and like
Yeah, but like you can clearly tell. Like I think that, for example, a creator I really really enjoy, Jontron, does ads which I'm not a big fan of because he'll do those Raid Shadow Legends ads where he's just at the start and like, oh, join my clan, I'm playing. It's like, no, you're not playing this. No, you're
Yeah.
not enjoying this.
Yeah.
I know that. But then on the other hand, you'll have like again, I'm bringing up Linus because like I think he has a really good ethic when it comes to like the way that he does sponsors. It's like even though like he will never really say like I'm using this, he'll just say like this is a company that does this business. But then whenever there are complaints around these advertisers, he'll drop them. Like if his community comes around and says like, "Hey, there is this really there's like a bit of a shady past with this with this advertiser." Like they had what was it? They have like a VPN company that they're using that like they were always a Tunnel Bear, and then Tunnel Bear like ended, so they found a new one after long searching. And then that company had a bit of a, I think it was some sort of data breach, or there was some like there was something around it where there was a bit of controversy about it, and they extensively talked about it on their live streams. They went ahead and they contacted the owners of the company, the CEO and the CFO, I think, and they had like an hour-long live stream with them to ask all the questions that their community asked them to like figure out what was going on. And at the end of all of that, they did another live stream in which they polled. Like they put a poll in Instagram, like, do you want to see more ads of this, or do you want us to break off? And the community said, like, I think 60 or 70% said, yeah, let's continue. So they continued. And I think that that's a really, really good way in which, like, they're not even telling people, like, we are using it, or this is the best thing ever. No, they're just like, this is a company that does a thing. And a lot of times, like, they will have, at a certain point in time, like, they'll have companies that they will do better things with, or, like, the companies will, like, the relationship will improve, so they'll do special products, or, like, they'll use it more because they actually like the products or something. But I really think that that's a really good way of integrating the sponsors and, like, being honest about it. And I love that.
Yep. No, I do agree with you. Right.
So-
I can't think of much else to add to Microsoft buying Discord.
That was where we came from. No, like we kind of got to like advertising because I was talking about like the unsustainable business practice, and that's something which like I have really disliked heavily because it's like it sets bad expectations because people expect something to be to work, and then all of a sudden you propose limitations, or the thing goes out of business because it's not sustainable. Spinoff said on that the .com business model was challenged back in the 90s when they first started. Wall Street investors had a serious pushback when they first started popping up. Wall Street could not understand that a company produced no product and made no profit, but could still be valued more than companies that did. IPO booms were the first goal for companies like this. Now it's racing to getting purchased for IPs or patents. There's a precedent set that that millions, if not billions, can be made like this. Yeah. So it's very much like this thing of building businesses which are not sustainable, and then either shitting down your experience for your customers because you can't continue to go on like this anymore, or selling it to like someone that like has the money to support it till the end of time because they have all the money in the world, but in the end they'll be harvesting data or throwing ads on it because they need to have some way of making it profitable. Case in point is right now we have PlayStation 3, PSP, and PS Vita shutting down, or somewhat. So what is going on right now is Sony is shutting down the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, and PlayStation Vita online stores. So these stores are rumored to be shut down in this year, according to sources close to the matter. The announcement is set to be come out like at the end of the month, where they're going to be talking about the PSP and PlayStation 3 stores closing down on July 2nd, and the PS Vita store closing down at August 27th. That's really fast. That's really fast for the Vita, at least. Vita has been out since 2011. PSP has been released in 2005, and PS3 in 2006. Now, although like the store's closing down, doesn't say anything about a network. I think that the network is something which is soon to go as well. If the stores are shutting down, because stores shutting down basically means you can't buy DLC anymore, you can't buy online games anymore, and probably you won't be able to download any games you own digitally anymore. So it will kind of be like a Nintendo Wii scenario where if you have a game installed in it, you better keep that thing working and you better keep that in top condition, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get it back for legit ways. Now, the reason why I bring this back into but why I link this to this the unsustainable business model, is that the thing which I thought was a really, really bad, like really, really shitty move to me when the PlayStation 4 came around was all of a sudden I had to pay $60 a year to go online on PlayStation. Because I was like, well, this was free. This was literally a free thing. I'm already paying for my internet. Why do I now have to pay you to use my standard basic feature of going on the internet? Well, apparently they need servers to run it. They also make a fuck ton of money out of that, but they also need money to run their servers. And that's also something which I can imagine is driving this decision of shutting down the stores on these older platforms where people play less on, because it costs money to run these servers, and if less people are using them, like, yeah, I mean, it makes no sense to like kind of keep them running. However, like, I was really, really pissed off when, like, all of a sudden I had to pay $60 for playing the PS4 sort of thing online. And I really, really love the PS3. There are some really good titles on PlayStation 3. I know I'm super nostalgic for, like, the Call of Duties of that time, and I don't think they've been replicated anywhere else. Even the Steam versions aren't all that great. And honestly, I think it's just such a fucking shame to see this thing go down. And like the fact of the matter is that for me, the PlayStation 3 especially, I mean, like, I also have a Vita right here, but I don't really have a lot of online games that I play on it. I do think that the Vita is still a great platform, but the thing is, I don't like, this is the first platform where there are going to be games on there which I'm just not going to be able to play anymore because this thing is going to be shut down, and there's just like no way to play it anymore, and all because it's not sustainable to just keep it running. And I can understand that, but still, it's just like, it just feels shit when this shit is just shutting down, and it will just take away so many features.
Not quite sure how to respond to this. Mostly because there are like this sort of stuff is inevitable, right? Microsoft stopped supporting Windows 7. Microsoft stopped supported Windows XP, Windows 2000. They've this isn't a new trend. This stuff is going to happen. Look at all the games that you bought years and years and years ago that will not run on your current PC. Hell, Crisis 1, I tried to install it on my big box PC by the side of me, would not work.
What?
Right? Doesn't work. The original Crisis does not work on Windows 10. It was built for Windows 7.
Right? Always like, could you have you tried it in a virtual machine?
No. I did try it in compatibility mode, but even so, I got the remastered edition and it ran like fucking shit. And like, but I have 24 fucking cores. How are you running so badly? And lo and behold, I got a refund on that, and then I proceeded to buy the game again for like £6. And there was an update recently, so I was like, okay, I'll give that a go at some point. But the big thing is that, you know, this is part of consumerist society. Like, stuff will always, over time, degrade, right? Stuff will always, like, what's the difference between a piece of software that slowly becomes out of date and a car slowly breaks down?
Well, I think the difference is, and like the car is an interesting analogy because like you have Teslas now that are also linked to the network where they can disable features and stuff. Is that if I look at the previous consoles that I've owned and I've played with, a lot of them, like if my PlayStation 2 games didn't really have, like I didn't have the network games, so all these games I could still like throw in there. And sometimes like they may break, but I might find like a new copy or anything, like a secondhand copy, but I can still play them. However, the Call of Duty that I played, like you mainly play that for like the multiplayer. That's going to be gone when the network is gone. Like right now, I mean, like you're going to be seeing this coming with like the PS4, hopefully not soon. But like imagine that, you bought Sea of Thieves for Xbox and you can't play it on Xbox anymore because that the entire service is down. I still think, like, I have never experienced Halo back in the day when it was like the glory days of like the original ones. But the thing is, like, I can only imagine like how sad that is to just see that all just no one can experience that anymore. And I think that the difference is when it comes to like things that are being degraded, that degrade over time, like a car that degrades over time. Of course, it's a used product. Of course, they're gonna go down. But like, it doesn't matter how well I preserve my copy of Call of Duty. It doesn't matter how well I preserve, or like. Let's say that like this experience is bound to get by a bunch of people that play it. So let's say like it doesn't matter like how well I preserve my group of friends that play this game together, that we can always have a full lobby. It's just gonna just close, and I will not be able to experience that again. And that's something which, like, obviously live servers are going to be experiencing soon as well. We're going to be seeing that at some point in time for Destiny. We're going to be seeing that at some point in time for Warframe. We're going to be seeing that at some point in time for Fortnite or Apex Legends or all those games. But it's just like the first time that's coming in, and especially when like the PlayStation 3 era was very much defined by you buy those games and you get that online functionality. And it was something that was just, you were able to have that. It was provided to you, and then all of a sudden, like, you had to pay for it, but you still had the same service sort of thing. And now, like, even though we're paying for it, like, they're shutting down the service which we already had. Like, it just,
Sorry,
I don't know.
I'll probably be back in a minute.
All right. I don't know. It just feels weird, sort of thing, and that is something which, like, I don't know. Maybe it's a hit of nostalgia that's hitting me. Maybe it's like, because like, yes, the Xbox, it has happened, but like the thing is, it's just losing a part of history. It's just losing a part of something which I have had access to, something which I've bought, which I have a legitimate copy of, and I don't want to go like Wii style Mario Kart, let's go and make an entirely brand new like hack server sort of thing. I don't think that should be something which should fix it as well. But yeah, let's see. Espino says there have been rumors that PlayStation may offer these games through a subscription service like Xbox Cloud, or make the PS5 backwards compatible and start dropping them in the PS5 store. So the thing with PlayStation 3 games, as far as I understand, is that the architecture on which they're built is so much different than PS4 or PS5 that if they were to try and run emulators on that, like, that would take up a lot of system resources. So the chances may be that they may not be able to do that. That said, these games have been released on other platforms as well. So, like, Call of Duty back in the day were also released on the goddamn Wii, because the Wii was the best-selling console of all time at that point. So let's go and make a Wii version. I would personally absolutely love if they would just bring out Modern Warfare 2, all the games that were out there that I have on my PlayStation. If they would just bring them out without changing anything, up the resolution as far as I care, up the resolution, and I would just go for it. Just fucking go for it. But don't change things. Don't add in microtransactions. Don't add in like stupid like classes feature sort of thing. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. I just want to be playing. I just want to be able to play those games. And it just makes me sad, especially also like when it comes to a console like this. A PlayStation Vita is like, I think it's still a brilliant device, even for like the age that it has. It came out in 2011, but the thing that you got to realize, this thing has like a full-on touchscreen. It has like a very usable interface. It has a touchscreen on the back. It does have like very shitty memory card slots, but it has like a camera up on the back, which is shitty, but I mean like kind of comparable to smartphone camera quality back in the day. It has a camera on the front. It has a very enjoyable grip, and it looks quite sleek, even though it's a little bit on the thick side. It is made of plastic, and like it does attract fingerprints like mad. But I mean, phones do that nowadays too. However, you're not going to be able to download any games from this. And I also know that there's a bunch of people who still play the Vita, but because Vita games aren't really being sold, the only way they can get them is by downloading them through the store, because GameStops or whatever local store they have will not sell PS Vita games because not a lot of people have played it, and there's not a lot of like third-party support. So that will just be that you're kind of going to have this console which is just like dead. Which is like everything that's on there, that's not what you'll have, and if you delete it, you're fucked. And that's just really, really sad. Like it's like, I don't know. There is a logical part of me that's just like, I mean, yeah, everything is meant to go down, but at the same time, it doesn't feel right that I have this in my hand. Majoka says, I used to love using my Vita for remote play from work. We're talking to Vita. I use mine as an emulator. Basically, dead beyond that. Yeah, like okay, so like the thing which I felt with the Vita is that it was a brilliant device. However, it had very little like third-party support sort of thing. It basically didn't really have any like big titles apart from Persona 4, which I think is amazing. And there's like a handful of them, but not more than that. And other than that, like it was really outperformed back then by smartphones sort of thing, because back then, like back when this came out, 2011 was really much the focus time of Nintendo DSs that came out, and like people loved that Nintendo DS because it was a handheld that anyone could play Sudoku on, anyone could play like dumb stupid games on, even if they'd never played a game themselves. And welcome back, Drew. And then smartphones came over, and you could get these games for free. So then why would you have a handheld? And I think that that's kind of what like took away the win from the Vita. And then right now, though, like, well, I mean, the moment the win was taken from the sales, like, they just stopped supporting it altogether. However, I think right now, if you look at the Switch sort of thing, I do think that there is a market for handheld consoles if done right. So I kind of think it's a shame that, like, this thing was not really... there's no follow-up or anything. It's just gone.
Did you address Father of the Crow's comment?
Let's see. The difference is the software drifting away should be entirely preventable, or that it'd be easier to be preventable, but businesses aren't doing it. I haven't addressed it yet. Let's go.
Yeah, so I wanted to address this. I wish it was that easy, right? Because let's talk about hardware for a start, right?
Mm-hmm.
So back in 2005, a Japanese businessman that I can't remember which company they worked for, they stole the design documents for a new method of producing capacitors, which is an electronic component. If no one knows what it is, it's an electronic component that's designed to hold a charge.
Mm-hmm.
They stole the design blueprint to make the capacitors and sold it to a Chinese company. That Japanese individual made sweet bank, right? I don't ultimately know what happened to them. The Japanese company struggled for years because effectively they tried to make the capacitors for as cheap as possible, but obviously they had to recoup their costs for the research. But then there was this Chinese company that didn't do the research and then was selling the capacitors for a much cheaper price, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out it was discovered years later that this Japanese businessman didn't steal the whole design document. Mm-hmm. He only stole part of it. The capacitors...
Keep on going. I need to be away for a sec.
Sure. The capacitors that were made by the Chinese company were faulty, and they would only last a few years before they would then literally pop. Yeah. And as a result, all the hardware that was designed to run off these motherboards that use these capacitors, all the motherboards died. You know, the capacitors broke. You couldn't replace the capacitor. And this was like, I think it was between 3 and 5 years when the capacitors would start to pop. They would pop a lot faster if you didn't use them, right? Now, so if you bought like a motherboard, you had it on a shelf, like within a year, the capacitors would pop before anyone could use the motherboard. If you bought, if they made the motherboard and then it was used quite quickly, shortly after it was made, then it would last longer. But anyway, so and because these motherboards, they were all outside of warranty, like, yeah, they wouldn't, they're not prepared to replace them now. So we're talking about something like a PlayStation 2, right? The hardware manufacturing, like the maintenance involved in being able to continue to produce, maybe not en masse, but just even on like a on demand thing for a PlayStation 2, it would cost the same as building a PC today, but this is like a piece of hardware that is really old. Yeah, but maintenance of that hardware is really difficult. Then it's the same with software. An old DOS game that I used to play, it was a strategy game called Z, right? So it was it was a RTS, but the unit of spending was time. The Z was made for Windows 95, right? But by Windows 98, the game stopped working because when Microsoft updated DirectX from DirectX 5 to 6, right? They changed some of the functions in the core libraries of DirectX and the game stopped working, right? So, or specifically, it crashed. Whenever you had one specific unit in the battlefield, whenever they would fire their weapon, the game would just crash. And, there was no way to fix it. The company had gone under. There was no way to maintain it. And you find that of today, right? So, servers that weren't paid, maintaining servers and things, that costs a lot of money, right? Not considering software or hardware, it costs time, people's time, right? My time is very expensive, right? So some companies like, right, if you want us to update this server from Ubuntu 18 to Ubuntu 19, you have to pay for 5 days of Drew's time, right? Which comes at a premium. Yeah. So, is the company prepared to pay that much money? Just, server seems fine now. Nah, we'll leave it as is. It's not broken. Don't fix it. So, it's nothing. Unfortunately, nothing's preventable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that, like, nothing is preventable. We don't know what the future will bring. And I mean, at the end of the day, also, like, if a giant asteroid would come around, that'd be it. But I actually think that this might be a very interesting, like, I've talked about this many times when it came to like these live service games, or like most PvP, like PvP games, sort of things. Like, they are gonna die at some point. It's gonna be really sad. I mean, I think it just hits me very different right now when it's like games I legit grew up with, and I still really enjoy to play. Espionage says, how does this refurbishment / maintenance of aging products differ from wood and metal antiques? It's all the same. We're all aware it won't be cost effective.
Yeah, but I mean, who's going to pay the cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you going to go to university to study how to program in assembler, or are you just going to teach yourself how to program in assembler to get the old PlayStation copy of Soul Reaver to work on the PC? Are you going to, like, the big thing is, like, technology is one of the fastest evolving things, and there are some methods of programming that just don't exist anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to be really specialist to do things like program in assembler, right? So the big thing for assembler, in case you didn't know, that's more like programming for pieces of hardware, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like PIC microprocessors, stuff like this. But people don't program in assembler anymore. They program in compilers, right? So there'll be like an alternative to the C programming language where you program in something that's a high level language that you can comprehend easily. And then a compiler will convert that into assembler that a PIC microprocessor can understand, right? I mean, what's the meme? It's all binary anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it? No, what was it? Or was it machine code? Yeah. I can't remember which. Like we're talking like a you know 2000s meme here.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things. Who said that? But like the PS5 store, like they're like I think it was Espionage. Hold on, like literally exceeded. Yeah, Espionage was talking about like PS5. Like they might be these games might be brought back to the PS5. And like as far as I know, the architecture of the PS3 is very vastly different from like the architecture of the PS4 and the PS5.
The architecture between the i7 I have on the shelf behind me is vastly different from the Ryzen 9 in my machine. Crisis still won't fucking work.
True that. But yeah, it's just something which is just sad to see. And I'm really curious as to like what we're going to be witnessing more and more. Like I really wonder because what we're seeing right now is this movement towards, because online is so much more available, so many games are really focused on the online element that you have. Like what is a game that doesn't feature some sort of online element to it? Because
Nier Automata.
No, Nier Automata has this thing where you can get help from other players that have beaten the game and then have like deleted their data to help you out.
Oh, that thing.
And they also have this thing where if you die, then your death thing gets sent somewhere, so you have like player names. Does have something.
Fine.
Same with Ghost of Tsushima has Legends mode. Like all these games have online elements right now. We kind of take them for granted because it's just online, and online it seems to be something which is kind of like free to us all. But at the same time, it's like that means that all of these games kind of have a lifespan until they crash and burn, sort of thing. And that like there are games in which that will be a really small element, kind of like how the Game Boy games used to have like this. If you play Pokemon, like the internal battery has run dry, so you can't play your clock. Your clock won't work anymore. Those sorts of things, or you can't save anymore. Like remember those like Game Boy games?
Yeah.
Like you would kind of have that, but then in like online like games which you might still be able to play, it's like the network servers have died, so you won't be able to do these things anymore. Federer the Crowd says once Nier servers go down, the ending to that is going to be super hard. Oh my god, it will be.
I think someone will find a mod. Someone will find a way for it.
But
So
who is going to code that? Who's going to like spend their time into?
oh, what's it called? Fans, fans that maintain and fix bits of hardware. They're gonna work on.
Wouldn't
this.
those also be the fans that could like keep some old games running, sort of thing?
Yeah. So things like emulators, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one thing that, like, just on a slight tangent, one thing that I think would be excellent in terms of Sony's side of things is allow people that own the copies of, I don't know, let's say Destiny on PlayStation 3, allow them to actually burn it off onto a DVD or something. And then they could just, oh, look, I could just play it straight on the PlayStation 3. I maintain one. But like, look at how many, I'm not going to name anyone. Look how many content creators end up using emulators to play old school games because they literally don't have, like, I've got a working GameCube at my parents' place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do not have a TV that supports it.
Oh man. I mean, like I did get, I think it was like $15 or something. I got like this little cube thing which you plug into like a USB port, and you plug the free cables in there, like the free plugs, the AV, and it turns into an HDMI. It's not the neatest solution, but it sort of works. That doesn't sound very convincing.
Talking about going from analog to digital.
Yeah, but I mean,
Anyway.
like it's better than absolutely nothing. But yeah, no, that is
as long as it works.
as long as it works indeed. Well, something which I've been wondering about is like, what? Let's say that like a game like Warframe or Destiny would shut down. It's like, I mean, I think we've talked about this before, where like I would kind of be like, should there be should not in the sense of like they legally should or like by rules, but like should there be some sort of way in which these companies like could give a downloadable version of the game so people could play it offline, or release like Paragon did this thing where like they release some assets so that people could recreate the game into like their fan editions because they stopped supporting it. Now like there's an entire like Kickstarter indie fan group together that have like are rebuilding that game from like fan, like just from the assets that they've been given. Like is there something that games should do sort of thing, or do you think that that's something that they should not do because then they're kind of giving their IP away, and who knows, maybe they want to go back to use that IP for like a game 2 or in future services sort of thing?
I think it depends entirely, because some developers may want to expand the intellectual property. Some people want to I mean, like StarCraft, the original StarCraft came out in 1998, and StarCraft 2 didn't come out until 2010, right? That's a 12-year gap between the two of them. But there were attempts to making like, oh, this is a fan-made StarCraft game. Blizzard shut them down because they still intended to work on the intellectual property. Yeah, there was 12 years between them, but it was, in my opinion, a worthwhile wait. So it's difficult. I mean, I think
I do
because
think
you
there's a
never know what the
difference.
future.
I do think there's a difference though, because like if you wanted to play that, the copies are still out there. You could still play it if you bought it. But a live service sort of thing, which really relies on an active network connection, the moment that that's taken down, you can never go back to it. So, like, let's say Warframe would shut down, you would never be able to play it.
Here's a perfect example. There's a Final Fantasy Mobius, right? Loz played the shit out of Final Fantasy Mobius. He got really upset when they shut down the servers. It's a mobile app game, so maybe they should have made it so that it was just a single player experience. Maybe the ultimate step, but I don't know how heavily integrated the online presence of the game was. It really depends.
Yeah, it's something which is going to be coming up more and more, and we'll see how.
But one final point. One good thing was, so Dawn of War 2 was originally released on Games for Windows Live. This whole like basically, pay to use our services. Hold on, this is PC gaming. You're way too late to this, Microsoft. Yeah. Good fucking job. Like, and no one fucking paid for it. But Dawn of War 2, made by Relic Entertainment, right? They ported the multiplayer that relied on Games for Windows Live over to Steam, which was excellent of them, right? Maybe something like that could happen.
Yeah, we'll see. That said, I think we're wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up. So that is it for FrameCast number 72. I hope you all enjoyed. Congratulations. If you have been with Warframe for some time, it's been 8 years. Hooray. We'll see what the future holds. Discord is still owned by Discord until future things change. And the PlayStation stores are still online until a couple of months. So go download and get to downloading while you can if you still have things that you want to download on there, and play your games that you so much enjoy to play online with your friends, because one day you will not be able to anymore. Maybe because the game shut down, maybe because you shut down. Who knows what happens first? It's a race against the clock. That's kind of a very fun way to end the Framecast. Let's make it more fun to check out youtube.com/CasinoGelion for a brand new episode of The Arbiters, a fun, a great amount of shorts every single day being uploaded, right?
Yeah, shit. I'm trying to. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Wait, I'm still trying. This is hard. There we go.
Right,
he edited it.
I was on it too. It was a lot of fun. Go check it. youtube.com/CasinoGelion if you like some fun gaming videos. How long until the new form of Arbiters comes out? Do you have any ETA you can give on people for that? Like any rough estimate? the Warcraft.
The WoW one, War
Yeah.
Council. Oh my god. So my holiday time's run out now.
Mhm.
And I have collected all but, oh god, how many clips do I need to get? Was it 10? I think I need to get 10 clips. Then I have to do a load of pre-processing kind of stuff with them. Then I need to send it on to Joey to edit out the green screen stuff to make it easier on Vegas, and then go from there. It's
Okay.
like it's a bit of work. I do have holiday coming up, like next Friday I'm on holiday and things, so I was actually tempted to finalize it then.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is going to be coming up at some point in time. I can't wait. I'm really curious as to what it will look like. And yes, Majoga, I was on Arbiter's.
Pretty much the same. Pretty much the same.
It is like it's going to be such a kind of like how Railjack was for Warframe. This would be for your channel, I think, a new step in a new direction.
We'll see how it works.
We'll see how it works. So go check him out if you want to. If you want to see this video, or like if you want to see the podcast, because you just tuned in, you're like, "Fuck, no man, I'm too late." Go check out on YouTube.com/PostmaLongGames if you want to see this entire podcast in its entirety. It's gonna be up there tomorrow. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you around next time. And with that, I'd like to say goodbye.